What is a shell? Shell is a program, right? It is a special user program that provides a interface. Okay, interface, I mean screen to the user, where the user can execute the commands. Okay, we already discussed there is a part called kernel, which is used for the operating system to, I mean the software to communicate with the hardware, and kernel is like a hot. Okay, so whenever this shell provides us program, and whenever you type some specific programs, right, it can communicate with the kernel, so that kernel will understand and it will give us reply back or whatever the information that is needed. So we are providing the commands and executing everything through the shell. Okay, so what is the main motive with the shell scripting? Okay, so whenever you use the shell scripting, right, we are giving some commands, we are giving some instructions from which end? From our user end. Okay, and we are trying to execute them. In this shell scripting, we only use a bunch of commands which are called Linux commands. We won't use much. All we use is Linux commands, and using those Linux commands, we are giving some instructions which the kernel will understand, and it will give us the required output, whatever it was needed for us. Okay, so that is what shell scripting is. In the shell scripting, all we use is Linux commands.
Okay.
So is that clear? Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the shell script, right, there are different types of shell scripts available. Okay, we even call like different shells available. That means in different shells, similarly like how we have flavors, right, in Linux, like CentOS, Redshift, sorry, not Redshift, but Red Hat. Okay, Ubuntu, SUSE, we have multiple flavors, right? So similarly in shell scripting also we have multiple types of shells, and such types of shells, one of those are called bash, which is the most commonly used shell in most of the organizations, and that is called bash is another name as born again shell. Okay, this is one of the most commonly used shell in the Linux systems. Okay, and it is default, actually you can even find it in any Linux system default. Okay, so it can also be installed on the Windows OS. Anyway, we can do that, not a big problem. So the next shell we have is C shell, and the other is Korn shell. People also called it as K shell. Okay, so all these are some of the normal shells which we can find out in any of the other organizations. Whatever it is, the functionality will be the same. Okay, as we already discussed, but our most commonly used is born again shell. It is the most widely used shell in all the Linux system. Okay, and it is already default installed or configured in any Linux. Whenever you install it, I will even show it to you. Let us go to the Linux instance first. This is the just instance which I launched just now, right? So that's why I wanted to show it to you directly, so that's why I launched a new instance. Okay, so let us go cd bin ls. Okay, here in the bin folder, bin directory, if you see, you will find something called bash. See, bash. That means bash shell was already pre-configured and it was already part of a system whenever we launch it, and you always found it. So that is why bash is the most commonly used shell. Is that clear?
Okay. Okay.
And next, where we write a program. We always write a program. We will create a file using touch or vi. And once after you create a file, right, the file name always ends with .sh. Here sh means shell. Okay. So always whenever you save a file after writing a program, that should end with file.sh. I mean anything. Whatever the name it is, the always ending should be with .sh extension. Okay. If you write your script like my script or your script, whatever script it is, that should end with .sh extension. Okay, in this particular file you will be noting all your commands, instructions, programs, scripting and everything, so that it will be being interpreted by the particular kernel of that particular Linux system, and it will provide us the required output whatever it was needed by us. Okay, and the next thing is, you always see like why we need this, because you always can ask that like, hey, we are using the commands, right, but what is the use of it? So what we can do is, we can perform automations using the shell script. What do you mean by automations here? Let us say you have repetitive work. Okay, let us say in our Linux system what you have is like you have trying to install one service, okay, uh, sudo space hyphen clear uh, yum install httpd, yes, enter. Now status, I just installed, okay, httpd, so I am just trying to check the status of it. Okay. Currently, if you see, it was like inactive status, right? Which we already discussed. Once you launch a HTTP, it will be in the inactive status. But what if you see the status was in down? Anyway, it was in inactive. Let us say you just the service was running, but again you stopped this particular service. Okay. So, and if this was happening again and again due to some issue which you are not able to find out. So in order to do that, again, you need to come into the server, log into it, and again, you need to restart the service manually. So all this is a manual work, and if you want to perform it, there may be even some cases where because of to reduce the overload or CPU usage or memory usage, what users will do is during the output, whenever the traffic of users is very low, they will do the operation, okay, they will do the production deployments, or they will do this changes where they will do the manual work of restarting the services and everything. At that time, even the production servers will be down and the websites will be down. They will give some maintenance on it. You can even see in like maintenance is going on. That means some work is going on in the background at that point of time, whatever it may be. But you can do all this in a automation without doing the manual work. That means you can restart the HTTP service and you can do it something like let us do it at every Sunday. Let it restart this service at 10 at so and so 10 time, or so and so at 11 o'clock, or so and so at 12 o'clock. So you can configure that in such a way that you are doing automated and you are reducing your work. So that is one of the main important work of our SRE, reducing the toils, which means reducing the manual work and increasing the repetitive work, sorry, increasing the automations. Okay. And the next thing is, right, like whenever the system admins also will do it, like whenever they want to take some backups, and if you want to do some monitoring, again we can do that. And if you want to add some new functionalities or install new services into the server, we can do the shell scripting. So there were many uses where and where you can use the shell scripting. Sashi, is that clear?
Mm. Yes, sir.
What is shell, what is shell scripting, where we are gonna use it, and what is the file extension that is gonna end with.